once again, we don't really think Young Falcon is going to be playing the Pantheon, but they just want to make sure he does have a lot of games on the champion, so it does make sense.
Yep.
And we're just going to see what the first pick coming in right now. It's going to be Urgot once again. First pick both games on blue side. Just such a strong champion. I honestly expect something like Aatrox Alistair to come out right now.
Yeah,
Just Alistair being so strong.
The Aatrox Urgot top lane, there it is, that Aatrox pick you're talking about. And the Alistair last game, just such good engages. You know, kind of played the champion almost perfectly in that game one.
Yeah, to be honest, I would have liked to seen Saints Gaming actually pick up the Alistair in the first rotation and then just pick up the opposite of the matchup. But it looks like they really value the Urgot in that matchup.
And here comes Zaya coming out from the side of St. Clair. Probably gonna get the Rakan here, so we're gonna see if Saints Gaming wants to, you know, kind of steal it away from them, or if they are going to just go for the, you know, something to try and counter it. See the Varus come out here, which pretty standard safe pick, and they do go for the Alistar, like you said.
Yeah, I would really like to see something to really enable this comp. We talked about Orianna with the Urgot last game. I really think like an Orianna or a Zillion might be a really good pick right now, just to really enable the damage coming from Saints Gaming. And I would actually like to see a Rakan right now come from George Mason, just really be able to compound with that Zaya, be a really strong engage. Aatrox able to follow up on that with a strong CC, and we're going right down to the 0 seconds. And Braum coming in the opposite picks. We're seeing a lot of picks coming in flip-flopping on this side, and it's not too uncommon to see an Alistair versus Braum. Both of them are pretty tanky. Both of them offer a lot of peel and support for their AD carries, and we're going to see the new bans coming in for the second round.
Yeah, and you know what? It looks like they were trying to bait out the Rakan pick on the side of George Mason. Doesn't seem like they look very confident in picking that right now. They probably wanted to get the Alistar for themselves, because the Alistar into the Rakan is a pretty volatile matchup. You can kind of just headbutt him out as soon as the Rakan ults in, and your headbutt, I believe, goes off before the charm from the Rakan ult.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And I think one of the most important things here right now, too, is just to secure a good jungle matchup right now for when you're talking. None of the junglers once again picked. We see mid lane bans going down. Pretty common bans. And there we go. There's the Olaf trying to pinch the pool a little bit more. And yeah, we're just going to see, I think we're going to see another jungler ban from Saints Gaming. Unless they go for Syndra, but I don't feel like Syndra was really that much of a factor in the last game.
No,
she played well, but she wasn't the deciding factor for sure.
Absolutely, you know, they kind of won it from the bot and jungle matchups there. The Urgot obviously very powerful, did have a good score line at the end of the game there, but I don't think he was the one necessarily building the leads on his own. I think it was, you know, Firefly there on the side of George Mason just kind of having his way. Wherever he was going, it seemed like they were getting leads off of it, and there was just no response on the side of Saints Gaming. So,
and there we go. We see the Nocturne being covered right now from George Mason University. I actually think this is an interesting pick. I don't know how effective it's going to be. Right now, we can see that the only target for Nocturne is going to be the Varus, and well, it is a great target. Alistair is going to be next to him, and as long as Alistair does the QW to him, it's going to separate that distance, and that Nocturne is going to have to be very careful about going into them. And we see Gragas jungle, actually. I think there's a strong jungle there. They're going to have to play really front to back here. But he is going to be a lot slower than Nocturne, so Nocturne might be able to just get a lead from straight farming right to level 6. So I'd really like to see Gragas get some early aggressive
there's that Orianna hover that you're talking about. Does look like a good team comp. Again, Nocturne doesn't look like he has too many options for who he wants to focus here. Just kind of, he's going to go in there and kind of just hope that they make a mistake, I guess. Good front-to-back team fight, though, coming out from the rest of George Mason here, if they do pick up the Shen.
Yeah, and it does look like that Shen would most likely go top lane with the Aatrox flexed into the mid lane. And just hovering the Ornn for a second, not actually deciding to go. And you know, I think the double global comp is something that can work really well. And actually, no, I'm gonna swap around here. But the Shen Nocturne is gonna be really strong together. But I just feel like with Gragas, Orianna, and Alistair, if the team clumps together, that engage isn't really scary.
No, and there's a lot of possibilities for the side of Saints Gaming here to counteract that engage. There's the shielding coming up from Oriana, so they will be able to protect the Varus. The Urgot is just going to be able to do a lot of percent health damage, to the Shen and the Nocturne when they dive in. And the Gragas is always able to, if there's too much carnage going on, he can kind of hit the reset button with that ultimate and just kind of spread
Yeah.
everybody out or isolate a single target for the side of Saints Gaming to pick off. So.
Yeah, I think Saints Gaming here has a really balanced comp. Really focuses around that team fighting. I think they're going to try to play for the strengths. What's nice is that the execution of Saints Gaming's comp is relatively simple. They want a team fight. They want to hit as many people with their ultimates as they can with Ori, Varus, and Alistair. They do need to be careful of kind of the Gragas interaction. They should really be looking to either get picks with it or to peel, but not to separate a team fight. They do want to clump them together most of the time. But then we have George Mason. It's not like their comp is particularly hard. They're going to try to go for a dive, and then the rest of the comp kind of fights front to back. Aatrox and Braum, they don't really have a real good way to engage.
No, you're going to have the Nocturne going in there, probably with the Shen, and they kind of just have the fallback of, oh, well, you know what? If they can't find a pick, they still have the Xayah, Braum, and Aatrox kind of just to put out some raw damage and CC there. So.
Yeah. So as long as Urgot and Alistair are able to actually be a front line for Saints Gaming, I think their team fight is really what is going to be strong. And the main thing Saints Gaming is going to have to be worried about is those picks, is getting picked off, the rotations, getting the proper vision down. So I think it's going to be a good test of fundamentals for this team.
Yeah, and hopefully we see a little bit of a better turnout here for Saints Gaming. I do personally like their comp a little bit better. Like you said, a lot easier to execute. Few more options than I believe George Mason has. And just, they should win most of these lane matchups here as well. So I think the only one they might have a little bit of struggle with is the Aatrox Oriana matchup. But it's not to say that the Oriana is going to get stomped. It's just she won't have full control over that lane.
Yeah. How is that matchup? I haven't seen it too much. From my guess, though, I would actually think Oriana has the advantage as she starts to scale. But Aatrox just having the fact that he's so power loaded on his Q, just having that stronger early game, especially 1 to 3.
Yeah, Oriana is definitely gonna scale up, and she'll probably have a little bit of an easier time getting past the 6-7 level mark. But in the early levels, Aatrox does excel pretty well into the Oriana matchup, just because that early game raw power that he does bring to the fight. Plus, he's gonna have the ignite, and likely you'll see the Nocturne kind of hovering around that mid lane.
Yeah, and we're going to be getting the game shortly. I feel once again they're going to do the 5-man lineup. I don't think either team really wants to invade. Both teams having very strong early games, with Gragas having good CC, Alistair, Braum, Shen. They all have a lot of CC that they can bring to the table. Not all of them necessarily want to grab at level 1, but they can. And I don't think either team wants to be the team that runs into the other.
No, and unless one of these teams has really been practicing those level 1 strategies, nobody wants to take that big risk, because if you do make a mistake in that early level, then it does get difficult. You kind of just throw away your early game, especially on the side of Saints Gaming, where their early game should be stronger on the side lanes.
Yeah, I think they just have to be really careful about that Shen too. Just being able to hit level 6 even earlier than the Nocturne and supporting that bot lane. Xayah being able to get extra feathers down because of that shield, and just being able to actually burst the bot lane is something scary. And we see here that a few interesting choices. It looks like it's the Penguin squad versus the Wolf squad, so we're gonna have to see who wins that matchup. And
I'm a little disappointed in that neither team has full cohesion there. A couple people having the different icons. A little disappointing.
Yeah, I think the Penguins is the best, because I honestly would personally go Poro, because there's 100 Poro icons to pick from now. Practically got one for every champion. So, But look here, everyone's going into the 5 line of scrimmage. Pretty standard, nothing deviating right now from the standard game plan. GMU sitting a little bit further back and actually having the bot lane clumped together. Varus not getting too much sight of the river though, and not too much different. Saints Gaming actually pushing up a lot harder into the river than GMU.
Yeah, and you know, they do kind of have a little bit of more strength, I think, in just raw damage. They do have the Braum on the side of George Mason, but if you can get away from that, any of those stacks, should be able to win any sort of those trades. So, but just kind of staying safe, backing off. Looks like a topside start will likely come out of both junglers here.
Yeah, and just everyone quietly watching, stalking each other.
Oh, Gragas making his way down there. Gonna be a split. See if maybe the Nocturne goes for the invade this time, like the Xin went for the invade last time after starting the red buff.
Only wards currently down are in that top side river. There is a scuttle. And we actually see Urgot coming in right here, trying to mess around with this thing. Putting the ward down, taking a little bit of damage, poking out a little damage too. Doesn't seem like he's going to be able to slow down the Nocturne at all with the Shen. Providing a lot of support. The Q actually going down and doing a lot of damage here, and Shen actually being able to push in. And not able to catch this Urgot right now, but the level 2 of Nocturne definitely being scary.
You know what? That is good. I think though, for the side of Saints Gaming, Nocturne is going to have that early game pressure compared to the Gragas. He will have that faster clear, so it kind of gives the Gragas a couple more seconds there to keep up with the pace of the Nocturne and still try and stay relevant until he gets those few levels in that first back before he can really start putting pressure on the map.
Yeah, and we see the bot lane, a little bit of trade coming in. Nothing too bad. Alistair, one of the benefits of him that most people seem to forget is that he still does have a heal in his kit, which really helps out some of those early levels against some of these more aggressive poke lanes. And Braum's Q not going to really be able to do any damage against him because of that.
Just your standard matchup top lane. Shen probably just going to concede some damage and pressure early. Really just looking to try and get to that level 6 where he's a lot more effective with the Nocturne.
And right now, the Nocturne actually coming in for the gank from the taunt. The E away, the flash away. Nocturne going in for the flash, actually being able to get right onto the tether. The tether just lasting, the slow going down, but Nocturne staying in range with the red buff, getting the first blood in that top lane, and not bad of a trade right there for George Mason. The jungler lost his flash, but Shen still keeping his flash up. Still going to be a prime spot teleport going down from Urgot. And I would have loved to have seen a repeat gank from George Mason, but Nocturne going down to farm, making sure that he can actually rush that level 6.
And it was excellent flash there. Just must really understand that champion's ranges because he flashed in and was, I'm going to say, just in range for that tether. Any like maybe 10 more units and he would not have been out of range and would have been just a wasted flash, but isn't able to get in there, get the tether off, and get that first blood.
Yeah, for sure. Really good. Just being able to have the ability right there to predict that he would be in range. It actually looked like he added a little bit of extra range using the terrain to push him a little bit farther. So really good, quick mechanics right there from Nocturne.
And you see him looking bot lane now, too. Going over to pick up the Krugs.
Yeah, Krugs, Golems, still one of the most worthwhile camps to get, and we can already see some of the CS leads forming for this Saints Gaming, actually. Orianna just being able to abuse her range in the matchup, able to kind of get ahead, and the Alistair doing a lot of work right there onto Zyra. The Feather's actually missing, and a lot of damage coming from Saints Gaming onto George Mason here, actually winning out the trade, and as long as they can sit in that lane, the Alistair is actually going to be able to get an advantage to healing. And we saw top lane just there for a brief second, getting a lot of good stuff there. And now we just see all the lanes playing out.
There is, you see that pressure that Aatrox is able to offer in that mid lane. If he is able to get that combo off.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming down from there. And it seems like Saints Gaming's kind of caught their groove after the first game. They're playing a lot. They pick lanes that they feel a lot more comfortable in, it looks like. They're able to be a lot more aggressive and we haven't seen any uncharacteristic mistakes from junglers. None of them are getting picked off from gap closes, from getting closed on in counter jungling.
And you do see here on the side of Gragas, he was able to, get that first back without getting too much pressure put on him. Only lost the Krugs, but was able to, pick up that bot lane scuttle and get back right onto the field as the Raptors were spawning. So not missing too much pace there. Only a few CS behind. One interesting thing to note on him, though, is he did opt in for the Dark Seal. See if maybe that'll pay off.
I was looking at that too. He was able to pick up the Dark Seal as well as the boots. I almost feel like it's more for the potions.
Yeah, it'll definitely help him, stay a little bit more sustained in the jungle. It'll be interesting to see though if he is able to, get a little bit of the AP off of that, because that could be something that kind of catches George Mason off guard. Is if he does get a couple of those good ganks in, gets maybe 4 or 5 stacks on that, he is going to be doing a little bit more damage than you would normally expect from a Gragas at that point in the game.
Yeah, for sure. And we see some of the movements coming out. Everyone from Saints Gaming here backing off. I feel like Saints Gaming should really be looking for a gank right now with this Gragas. Picking up his jungle item. I think he needs to start playing to his early game strength. And the Nocturne coming in on the mid lane. Being able to get 2 men in with the Shen ultimate. The fear going down, but Orianna being able to kite around with the ultimate. And the ultimate coming up from Orianna. The flash coming up from Shen, saving him. The tower shot's only one coming down from Aatrox, being able to live. The ultimate coming out just to make sure he's alive. And Orianna right there, absorbing 3 ultimates in a 1v3 situation by herself. Losing both of her summoners, but picking up 2 and turn as well.
Plus that Shen ultimate, which is huge, 2-minute cooldown at level 1.
Yep.
Nocturne ultimate, you really want to get a first one off with a kill. You want to make that work just to keep the pace going really fast. Able to eat all 3 of those there. Almost gets a kill. One more turret shot on any of those 3 players, and she would have got a kill on them.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
Very
and
well
Orianna
played.
just able to stay currently in the mid lane, just farming. Still only on her first 2 items, but is going to be really happy with that. Once again, Aatrox coming in from the side. Oh, able to actually get onto her, but her being able to run out. And just, oh my god, so much damage coming down from Aatrox, picking up the Orianna in that 1v1 fight.
Yep, able to come over.
Oh, and Alistar going in with the combo, doing the stun, hitting the wrong person, and then Gragas trying to go in here. The ultimate actually coming in, picking up that first kill, and they're just going to dive. Varus hitting level 6 right there, getting the ultimate out, and picking up that second kill for himself. And with just a sudden swing of the score, Saints Gaming has just turned this game from a 0-2 to 2-2. And Urgot's actually trying to change this again and get another kill for himself. Not having any skills up, but that one last auto attack going in. And all of a sudden, Saints Gaming coming out ahead, trying to get that first tower. Urgot's going to scare them all away from here, though.
Excellent rotations there from the side of Saints Gaming. Bot lane, able to find that kill with that first Gragas ult. Beautifully placed, and he does have 3 stacks, like I was saying, on that, on that Dark Seal. Plus the rotation coming over from Bench and Meyer into the mid lane to pick up that Aatrox, who was not expecting that at all, didn't seem.
Yeah, and we see the Nocturne looking for a gank bot lane. Knows that if they're not going to play aggressive, they're going to go back. They just had a successful gank go off. Alistar going in, just pushing him away. Looks like the backs have been called. But Nocturne's ultimate's going to be up soon, so he might be looking for bot. Looks like he's going to start Dragon here for his team. And we have a 3-man gank coming up from Saints Gaming on the top lane. Shen currently still has his taunt up and is able to actually get away. Orianna, no ultimate coming down right there. I don't believe it was up. I think it just came up right there. Nocturne getting that Solar Dragon. Knowing that there's 3 people top, it looks like George Mason is actually coming for that 4-man bot.
The Saints Gaming bot lane back up here. Knowing that you're not going to have any sort of pressure coming back down. Aatrox missing on the map. You just heard the dragon go down. Clearly for a bot. Yeah. Just back off right there.
Yeah, we actually see the jungler from George Mason being a little wary, sticking back, and it definitely looks like, oh, and here comes the ultimate coming down. First ultimate coming down onto Varus. Varus taking a lot of damage. The fear coming down. Everything coming down onto him. The stun going to try to come out from Alistar. Not able to actually stun anyone that's getting hit by turret. Still alive. Actually, a kill going over to Varus. So 1 for 2 in that bot lane. And first turret going over to St. Clair. So I agree with you. I think St. Clair should have backed out knowing that the rest of the team's top lane Dragon just went down. But overall, still a net positive right there with that turret and kills almost being equal.
Ape really being able to eat a lot of damage there with that ultimate being up and just able to somehow trade a kill. They must not have expected, that tower aggro to switch over to the Xayah, because she looked like she was pretty low and pretty far out. She must have just got a feather in there just to take that the last second.
Yeah, and we see Saints Gaming trying to get that second turret, but barely standing right now. The turret going down right now for Saints Gaming. Ben Z getting damaged from Aatrox, but Aatrox taking so much damage from this Alistar. Not able to fully get back into this fight, just trying to poke him with range, and Alistar going actually too far trying to get the kill. The taunt and the fear trying to come in onto Varus, but not able to get him with that flash, getting the distance. And George Mason fighting back with fire, trying to turn the tides once again.
Yeah, not taking any time to rest there. Nocturne backs and immediately goes right back bot. Gets the Shen ultimate out there because he was not able to use it when they were putting the pressure on the top side. And just getting full use out of all of their cooldowns. Getting a kill onto the Alistar and blowing the flash of Varus. So that'll be a very nice target to look for in the next 4 minutes or so.
Yeah, for sure. I think Alistar needs to start getting some of those more ganks in. He had a really good bot gank, but since then he's been silent on the map, trying to play towards that top, but they weren't able to get anything other than tower, which is now been even now. So they really need to look for ganks with this pick. I actually think that Saints Gaming should be trying to just play for that bot lane and maybe even scale up. I think they have a better late game team fight, so I think trading the turrets if they could right now, top and bot, wouldn't be a bad trade for Saints Gaming.
No, it definitely wouldn't. You just want to get, like you said, to those later game item spikes as soon as possible, even if it means allowing the enemy team to get to those spikes too. With the on-hit Varus, the Orianna just scales up really well for team fights, and the Urgot being a little bit more useful, I think, in the later game than the Shen if you're able to just be in a straight 5-on-5. They'll be able to, if they both sides play out the team fights correctly, should be able to take over those.
Yeah, for sure. And the red buff going over right now to Urgot, making sure that Shen doesn't get that away from them. And a lot of people starting to come towards this top lane. Nocturne going B. Going to buy some items, and he's going to definitely look for something right now with that ultimate up. Not able to get anything with the first ultimate, but doing a lot of work ever since then. So we're definitely going to have to keep watching him and see what he can do with that.
And we are seeing, Gragas starting to slink up into this top side, trying to hide into the bush there. Getting pinged out from red side, though. I can't tell if there's a ward up there, but it does look like, they did have maybe the Ghost Poro or something.
Yeah, and this game all of a sudden just kind of slowing down for both sides here. Definitely, they're both looking for something, both respecting each other. Aatrox trying to go in on the Orianna, but the Orianna just being relatively safe with that range advantage. We've seen the CS kind of close in the gap. We've seen a small one form in the top lane just because Shen has to be separate. And really surprising right there, Gragas just going in both onto the same person, but not able to actually get anyone. Shen ultimate keeping everyone alive. Teleports coming in, but just so many feathers coming in and just dealing so much damage to the team right there. Oh, and a beautiful ult right there from Urgot, just being able to pick up the one low health member of Braum.
Yeah, that looked like it was almost a max range Urgot ult.
Yeah, and the Aatrox coming in with the ultimate just for the move speed buff. Varus dodging a little bit of the CC, but not able to dodge enough, and the flash coming in doing so much damage. Orianna not having enough mana to ult or any abilities right now, and they're just running down the towers, taking a few shots at the enemy team, being able to take down one of them, and in all, I believe it was a 2-for-3 trade with Gragas already responding.
That was just unfortunate on the side of George Mason. Takes that tower shot on the Aatrox just as his passive from his ultimate is going away.
Yeah, for sure. And re-engaged by Alistar right now into the two members. Greg is here as well, but not able to actually get anything on them. Tower going down. And we see right now a 3K gold lead once again at 14 minutes. A little bit slower, but it actually looks like St. Clair is being a lot more proactive this game.
Yeah, you know what? They're trying to make their own plays. They're kind of not just reacting. Did look like George Mason was kind of expecting the Gragas to be up there on that top side, so they were ready for the counter play. but they're not rolling over, which is good to see here. And
Yeah.
they do still scale up very well. So if they can pick up this Rift Herald and, use it to get a tower or two, plus pick up that top lane tower, which is very low, they can make this gold deficit
Yeah,
easy.
and we see the ultimate coming in onto Alistair. Varus actually untouched in the back line right now, trying to do as much damage as he can. The fight going over for the Risk Scuttle. The first kill coming down onto Nocturne. It looks like George Mason actually picked up the buff going on to Shen in the top lane. Alistair trying to pick somebody up, but it's so low. The feathers coming down in a 1-for-1 trade, but Rift Herald going over right now. Benzi getting caught out right now from the thing. The ultimate slowing everyone down. And the Q coming over from Braum right there, just doing so much damage. Urgot coming in here to try to salvage this fight, and once again picking off that kill. Oh my god, such a beautiful Zonius from the Gragas in the backline, and the Urgot just doing so much damage. Nobody able to get it onto the backline right now. Saints Gaming and Urgot just going in right now on everyone, and oh my god, such a beautiful arrow coming from Ben Zeke to just pick up that last kill of this fight. And once again, the gold lead just swinging from a 3K to a 1K gold lead from that one fight.
Yeah, that Urgot doing work in that last team fight, able to find the pick on the Braum yet again with that long-range ultimate, and at the same time getting the fear off on the Xayah to, get a couple of those shotgun knees out onto her and get that kill.
Yeah, definitely a really good job right there. They're definitely had to go look for more of that. Urgot's really strong right now in the mid game, so he definitely has the possibility of helping the team and really pushing them into this late game where they want to get.
Absolutely. We'll have to start being a little bit more careful, though, of this Nocturne, who did complete the Duskblade after that fight. Starting to get a little bit of magic resistance there to try and stop the damage from, the three of the damage dealers on Gragas, Orianna, and Varus, who I know he is an ADC, but he does do a lot of AP damage with that Blade of the Rune King and the Ginsus, which he's probably going to get next.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he's going towards that build. And it looks like they're going for the fight. The Alistair getting the headbutt pulverized combo over to the wall, followed up by the Urgot, and just so much damage. Braum is just not able to move against those. Burning the ultimate, but not getting anything, and the kill going over. And it looks like this Dragon is just going to go over 5v4 over to them. The team just having all of their ultimates still available. There's really nothing George Mason can do against this Dragon.
Good pick there, just prolonging this spike here on the side of George Mason, evening up the gold, and once you start getting to these 2 or 3 item spikes, I can really start to see the St. Clair team really start to take over the fights even more so than they already are. Just so much easier to execute and so much raw damage on 4 to 5 members.
Yeah, and once again, we see Greg is coming in right now. Trying to get a kill, but missing both the E and the ultimate. Trying to get the flip back, but doing so much damage. The W coming out from Shen. Gonna keep him safe. They know they can't get him. Alistair actually posturing behind. Just gonna take the box count over the wall. It looks like they're just gonna try to go for the turret now after the failed gank. Gragas not gonna be too upset that if they get the turret down here. Varus is gonna have to be careful. He's alone right now. The ult from Urgot coming down, but just not low enough. And really good by Benz right there, knowing that ultimate, he's a huge risk factor right there for that Nocturne ultimate and Nocturne ultimate going down, the Paranorma coming down, and just not able to actually get onto anyone right there. So a big wasted cooldown right now from George Mason.
Weren't even able to get that mid tower either. Alistair is now joined up with the Varus in the mid lane to be able to protect that, and kind of just a free tower in the bot lane, plus expending the Nocturne ult, and not having to trade anything back.
Yeah, I think right now might actually be a really good time for St. Clair to fight. George Mason is going to have a really hard time to get to that backline without that Nocturne ultimate. So it would be a really good time for them to fight front to back. And we see actually everyone's kind of grouping around. Maybe even looking for a fight. The Alistair going in for 2 men. Not able to get anything. The ball going off him. The ultimate keeping him alive. Making sure...
No Varus in this fight, though.
Oh, and the ultimate coming in from both Aatrox and Shen. A little early from Aatrox, getting the movement speed. Alistair going in, knowing that he doesn't have a thing, but a 3-man ultimate from Orianna, tying up the backline, allowing Benz just to be able to put so much damage. Nocturne on the side. Looks like he's going to pick up that Gragas, and he does. But Varus just literally untouched in this fight. Nobody's able to get back onto him, and just 2 kills coming up for him right now. Looks like they're going to try to chase down the Shen, and he actually flashes forward. The slow still from his ultimate, but the ultimate finally wearing out. Nocturne trying to come in, the Q trying to come in and to pick up the Shen. The slow actually going on Nocturne. It looks like they're going to pick up a 3-for-1. Oriana trying to get away, and both of them flash right there for the last second right there. And Aatrox is not able to pick up that kill, and it looks like Saints Gaming actually did look for the fight.
3-for-1 there in that. And like you said, go for that fight as soon as possible. No ultimates on the Nocturne. The Shen ult was used preemptively when the Alistar win. I think expecting a little bit more to be used from St. Clair at the beginning of that fight.
Yep.
So they were able to kind of waste that out from them.
Yeah, and we see Shelly, or the Rift Herald, coming down bot lane. Is going to be able to get a charge with relatively full HP, but isn't going to be able to get that turret. Taking it down to half, and that's most likely Shen just had to pop that before his cooldown of it ran out, and he had to ult away into that team fight.
It is good to note, though, right now, we are starting to see a little bit of a level discrepancy here on inside of the junglers. Still looking for that level 2 ultimate on the side of Gragas, whereas Nocturne already at level 12. Hopefully we can see Gragas kind of, push that gap a little bit closer, because you want to stay relevant in this, especially considering it looks like the Gragas is going for the more AP build. So you don't want to fall too far behind, if you're a little bit squishy and trying to offer more damage in those fights.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he's going to be trying to go for that AP, and it looks like the first item he's going to pick up is Luzonia's, allowing him to go for more courageous engages, it would look like. And Nocturne, though, we talked about it earlier, just a much faster clearer in the jungle. Not only the early game, but he's going to build pure damage, he's going to farm up, and it's going to be hard for them to really get going.
Yeah, and it is also good to know, too, that he is able to get all of these blue buffs and doesn't have any, mana users or anybody who really needs the cooldown too much on the side of his solo laners. So getting those blue buffs is really going to amp up his XP in that jungle.
Yeah, and we see Saints Gaming right now. With the slight lead they have, they're actually going to start Baron right away. I thought they were just going to get Vision, and George Mason University definitely knows they have the Scuttle Crab right there in the river. It looks like Saints Gaming might just be baiting them into a fight, but Aatrox onto the side. They have to be careful about this flank that might be coming down onto them. Shen just pushing right now. He's got teleport. He's got ultimate. He knows he can wait. And Urgot making the first action, trying to get that flip onto Zyra, but not able to get it. Just a Nocturne ultimate coming down in the back line. Able to get onto Benzir, and everybody actually just grouping up right now. Not able to kill the back line before their own back line drops. And the fight going over to Jade Mason right there for a clean 3-2 in George Mason's favor right there. And they're going to try to push down the mid turret right now.
Yeah, and it was good to note there in that fight, Nocturne was finally able to get to that Varus at the beginning of the fight with no real peel on him. The Varus, Oriana both running away while Gragas, Alistar, and Urgot are both going in. So just kind of free range damage for that Nocturne, and you have to be careful because now that Nocturne is going to have his GA.
Yeah, and we see Alistar going right here into the mid lane. Ultimate coming down from Urgot. Looks like he's going to be able to pick up the first kill, but it doesn't look like... Oh, and the fear does come down onto Shen, and it looks like he's going to try to save up for his taunt, but another stun coming in from Alistar. Able to actually get over the wall right now. Zyra running from the bot lane was able to pick up that turret, and it looks like they're going to try to chase down the full team right now of Saints Clair coming in for this kill. And it does not look like he's going to be able to get away at all. The EQ missing, but the smite going down here. Ben's just being able to pick up the free kill, not actually doing enough damage to him.
I would have actually liked to see Saints Gaming move up towards the Baron and regain that vision control instead of chasing the Shen around the map. With killing that Aatrox, who does not have TP, they would have had a 5-on-4 advantage there on the top side without a Shen ult for the next 30 seconds or so. Could have looked for a little bit more, but they do pick up the kill. Do get the that goal lead back a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think they could have had that option. I would have liked them to see them even after having that 5v4 doing the exact same thing, just pushing in, having that Baron advantage, being able to get the vision down. But it doesn't look like they're able to, and they currently are just pushing the mid lane. They have the Urgot in the bot lane, currently uncontested. Hopefully, they're probably going to hope that Shen gets the teleport down, and the Shen actually getting the ultimate down, and a huge fight coming in. So, oh my god, a 4-man knock-up from Braum into the massive CC of Aatrox, being able to instantly end that fight.
Yep, they do see that Urgot in the bot lane, and they do not hesitate to, press those ultimate buttons. Urgot not able to TP in there after the paranoia comes out, so just able to get a clean 3 for 0, not even having to use any of the summoner spells. Almost every single summoner spell still up on the side of George Mason.
Yeah,
Baron
and it looks like they're going to
over.
be able to take this Baron. Urgot taking down the last turret, and Alistar just kind of laying Shen. Alistar's not going to be able to really change anything here. Smite is still up for this team, and they're going to get a clean Baron after that 3-0 fight in the mid lane.
It's just one of those things where, you're trying to keep pressure on the map for that Urgot to be able to push, but you also have to try and respect, the engages on the side of George Mason. They do have that Nocturne out with the Shen follow-up, and Braum ultimate, if you guys are a little bit too clumped up, you did see he got the 4-man knock-up into all the Aatrox CC, just not even able to try and get any of the damage back into them.
Yeah, for sure. They have to be very careful. They can't let themselves get caught up once again in that clumped up. The feathers going across everybody. Aatrox's damage coming across everybody. There is AoE that's going to be constantly coming from George Mason, but it is such a small AoE that they really do have to be. They really do have to be on top of each other to be affected like that.
Mm-hmm. Just almost a perfect fight coming out from the side of George Mason. Still think, the lead is about 4K here on their side. Would like to see St. Clair look for a few more picks while they do have that Shen ultimate and TP down. But
Yeah, for sure. And Urgot right there going in with the ultimate. Going in with the flash, not able to get him. The ultimate going down, but Gragas ulting, but the flash from Aatrox is actually just going to let him surf the barrel there.
Yeah, just an unlucky ultimate there. Wasn't expecting the Aatrox to flash out. If he does hit that, I think they pick it up. But, I mean, after all is said and done, they do pick up the flash from the Aatrox, so it'll stop kind of part of their engage.
Yeah, and the taunt coming down from Shen right here, but the ultimate coming down from Alistar, trying to get away and just not being able to do much damage onto him. The ultimate going into the back line. Nocturne looking for something, and the ultimate going down from Alistar, and that's just going to let him drop a 3-man ultimate in there. Varus and everyone having to flash away from this fight. Orianna very low, no ultimates left, and another 2 for 0 fight coming out from George Mason, just showing how strong their champions are individually here.
Good, buy there too from the side of Firefly on that Nocturne. Does already have the GA, but still opts into getting that Zhonya's Hourglass active with the stopwatch. Just able to eat so much extra time when he's in that back line.
Yeah, definitely a really good option right there. And the stun, the taunt, everything coming down onto Urgot right there. Not going to be able to live. And it looks like the first tower of the base is going to go down, but everyone's walking up right now. Alistar trying to look for something, but can't go in, knowing that going in right now would be a death sentence. Knows that the team is split up, is looking for something. Aatrox going to the top lane, looks like he's going to be uncontested as they clean up the base right here. That turret going down to 1 hit right there from Aatrox. And the bot lane just clearing out those lanes, pushing up all the lanes, knowing that there's no one currently available, knowing the flash is enough, able to actually get onto him this time. And the ultimate being up from Aatrox, able to get over the wall with the E, using the other E just to make a little bit of distance. That ultimate giving him the speed, using the Ghost Blade just to really make sure he gets away. Orianna having to run for the Shen. Shen could actually get collapsed on right now, right here, but they're too worried about the bot inhib. Alistar not going to be able to stop this, not able to get there. They're going to look for a fight, and the flash comes out from Alistar right away, getting onto her and just not able to escape that at all. But a trade for the inhibitor. There's not much he can do. I really think it's George Mason's advantage right there.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit overcommitted there on the top side, trying to get that Aatrox. He did still have the ultimate, able to dash over the walls and not even die while they're taking the bot lane tower and inhib. They got the mid inhib tower. They also got the top tower.
And the ultimate right now coming from Urgot, trying to get him onto Shen. But Shen trying to get away here. So many ultimates coming out right now from Saints Gaming. I think this is a really good idea that right now, though. They're trying to make the picks. They get the picks. They delay the game. They give themselves some more time to get back in this.
Absolutely. And I know sometimes you see in some of your solo queue games, oh, wow, use 3 ultimates to kill me. Well, if it's going to delay the game, if you guys are not able to go in for, that 40 seconds that the Shen's dead, those little bits of time is what's going to get Saints Gaming back into this game, to kind of delay that inhib to respawn sooner before they get too much pressure. The Baron's coming up in about 2.5 minutes here. So just need as much time as they can before...
yeah, and I'm also just going to point out that if you use 3 ultimates that kills one person in the side lane, that person has 4 abilities. Your team's down 3 abilities, their team's down 4.
Exactly. There
And
you
a
go.
health bar.
Exactly, and you lose that pressure, able to clear out the vision and try and clear out the vision at least in your jungle while he's down. No Shen ultimate, which is kind of half of what their game plan is with that Nocturne to try and keep him as healthy as possible.
I think it's going to be up very shortly. Shen having a little bit of cooldown right now on his items, and just having that level 16 ultimate isn't going to be lacking the ultimate any time soon. And a lot of the work, I think Shen's been doing a really solid game. His ultimates have been very on point. They either delay every fight. I haven't seen him not be able to get into the fight because of a misplaced ultimate on somebody who's just going to still get blown up. So he's been doing really good with those ultimates. And he's just going to push that top lane, knowing that if they fight, his ultimate's up now. He can be there at any time. And Urgot, just he's still really strong. But we're starting to hit that late game at the 30-minute mark. And he's starting to lose some of that power, and he's really going to be relying on this Orianna and Varus to carry the damage output for the team from now on.
Yeah, now he's more so just a nuisance in that back line, where if he is allowed to free hit on the champions like the Aatrox or the Xayah, he will be able to still get some damage off, but won't have the same impact, on those tanks that he was having before.
Yeah, for sure. And he's coming in right now, trying to get the pick off onto Braum. Misses the E, but the Braum ultimate coming down. Nocturne ultimate going on to Varus. The ultimate from Shen coming in. The Fear actually going on. No one's able to actually support him. The Ori ultimate only being able to hit the Aatrox. And the kills coming in right now for George Mason. And it looks like they're going to be able to take Game 2 of this series, closing it out at 32 minutes right here in this series.
Yeah, just well played by George Mason. St. Clair did get a lead in that mid game. We're not able to capitalize as much as they would have wanted to, and George Mason just able to find the right fights, and that Baron
for sure
just kind of took it over.
And I think that's it from me and iGlory today. That's Tingar signing off, and I hope everyone has a great Saturday.